Of the big group of Parkinson's diseases, the three that affect dementia residents in dementia units most commonly are Parkinson's disease dementia, Lewy body dementia, and drug-induced Parkinsonism. With drug-induced Parkinsonism, these Parkinson's type symptoms start appearing between 4 days and a month after the medication has been introduced. And when the medication is reduced and mitigated, then the symptoms will fade and subside within a month to 18 months after the drug has been taken out of the system. So it does take some time. But with Parkinson's symptoms, the three main signs are shaking, slowness, and stiffness. So shaking or tremor is the most commonly known symptom, with the pill rolling tremor with Parkinson's. Slowness of movement, which is from the stiffness in the muscles, both with walking, with all limbs, upper limb, lower limb, walking, and even facial expressions. It can become mask-like with the expression of the person, and it can seem as if they're being indifferent to you, that they're not showing any emotion, when in fact it's the rigidity of the muscles that do that. And the stiffness and rigidity really affects walking in a big way, because proximal stabilization or stability is reduced, and so the balance reactions of the person is severely affected. But starting with the beginning of the day and how Parkinson's affects the dementia resident in a dementia unit. Well, all movement is affected. So getting out of bed, standing up and down from the chair, standing up and down from the toilet, getting dressed, because the muscles are stiff and tight. It will be difficult both for the resident and indeed the carer, because trying to bend the knee and hip of a person with quite a big leg, if it's a big strong man, to get him dressed in the morning to put his trousers on is a really huge effort. So how to go about mitigating all of this? Really, of course, medication is the domain of the doctors and the nurses, but in terms of the physiotherapy aspect, me being a former physio for 40 years, the thing is to try and loosen the person up as much as possible, because the muscles, the tendons, the tissues all start tightening up. So you need to try and release these muscles as much as you can. So exercise plays a very big part, because as the muscles and joints start stiffening, they can get adhesions. You can get the kyphosis, the bent back, the stiff shoulders, the curvature. And, you know, unless you start stretching in the opposite direction, the person can become stuck and stiff in that position. So whether it's exercise classes or whether it's exercises that are one-on-one exercises with the person. So the shoulder rotation has to happen, external shoulder rotation, to combat the curvature. So extension of the shoulders, upper arm extension, both arms if possible. If they can't do that movement, which takes quite a bit of stretch, even if you can just get a bit of rotation like that going, or even just to lift the arms, you know, as much as you can, work within the range of the person, say they can manage that. So work within that range and then rotate like so, within the range of movement, to stretching it but not straining it. And it shouldn't be too painful, it should actually be quite relaxing. So that action, and then as much as you can of elevation, and with the legs lying on the back and bringing the knee up to the hip as much as possible. It's quite a bit of effort. You've got to be quite strong to lift the leg. And as you're doing these exercises, say to the dementia resident, now work with me. Say it's John. Now work with me, John. I'm going to bring your arm back and around now. Now move your shoulder, move your arm as much as you can. We're bringing this round, arm up, stretch the arm up. And with the legs, bend the knee, lift it up, right up, as high as you can. So keep the, not commands, but the dialogue going, instructions going, and get them to work with you at least 50% of the effort, or as much effort as they can make with you. Okay, so that's all good, keeping the joints loose and moving. bed exercises or in the exercise classes with the activity coordinator. Now, the next thing is walking itself. Now, it may be in time that the person needs to go into a walker because they haven't got the stability on their own without the walker. Make sure the walker is of a suitable height. Make sure the person has good quality, stable, solid shoes, very important. And with exercising, what you can do is when you walk with your parent, say along the corridor, ask them to stride out. So when you can see the steps, typically they start shuffling and then they become shorter and shorter and faster. That's the Parkinson's pattern. So ask your parent, come on mum, dad, stride out, long steps, stride out. And that will break the pattern of that festinating gait, we call it with Parkinson's, and enable them to break that pattern, walk out, stride out, and develop a much more comfortable gait. So it's really combating it all the way as much as you can. I mean, it's a very difficult condition, of course. And with dementia as well, it's another layer. But all help is good. You know, any help, constructive help and physical help and encouragement, psychological help, all helps. At least the person feels they've got support on their side, you know, to combat these difficult challenges that they have to cope with so hard. But it's a life in a sense, I suppose, if you look at it like that. And as much help as we can give of our time, our energy, our patience, the better. And can, you know, within limit really, within reason. I mean, we can't burn ourselves out. We have to make sure that we keep our own resilience going and our own positivity going. And that's why it's better as a team effort that everyone in the family is doing their bit, and hopefully it's not just left on the one carer or one power of attorney to do all the work. Hopefully. That's why we're trying to educate through these videos, you know, that if we can share the load, and if a person is not really a carer sort of person, however you say that, they're not made for being able to do the cares or help, you know, physically, they can help. So many ways you can help the person that's the main carer. So many ways. Just ask them. I don't need to tell you here. Just ask them, how can I help? I know I'm not, you know, contributing that much with mum's care now that she needs the cares. I'm not very good at that, but I'm happy to do anything to help you, help mum. How can I help? And she will say, you know, whether you need to get the duvet or the shoes or take her getting the glasses or the hearing aids or doctor's appointment, there's always such a list of stuff to do. She will tell you what to do or how to help, and that will be a big positive contribution. So I've written about these topics in the books, The Resident's Voice and The Resident's Rise, both from a dementia unit, and on Amazon, everything in the description below. So thank you for your viewing and your likes. And please pass on the links and subscribe. Thanks.